I do say it's very family friendly because there's the whole town and everything is kind of oriented towards families. It's very similar to, if you've heard our Gatlinburg episodes, it's almost like Gatlinburg, but next to the ocean.
That is actually, for those that have been to Gatlinburg, I think that is a great description, because I was not able to quite picture Myrtle Beach.
Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast, the podcast that talks about all things couples travel, including destinations, tips, advice, and more. I'm Kat.
I'm Chris.
And this is episode number 180.
This was a wonderful weekend for me because you baked focaccia.
Yes.
I love when you
What a
bake
labor
bread.
of love.
Oh my gosh. It is just, I mean, is there any better way to say I love you than delicious baked goods that can be eaten by the pound?
Well, we were supposed to go to a dinner with friends, and some stuff came up and we couldn't, but I had already started making the focaccia on Friday to sit in the fridge. And so I ended up having to follow through and baking it the next day. But I'm glad I did. It's very tasty.
I love bread.
I love bread.
I mean, yeah.
It sounds like when Oprah does her commercial. She's like, I love bread.
Is that what she says?
I think it's like a Weight Watchers commercial where she talks about loving bread.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Sign me up for that.
Right?
Yeah, I do love bread. What else has been going on?
Well, we went and hung out with some friends yesterday at a little backyard barbecue. That's always fun.
That was very nice.
That was really fun.
You did very well in cornhole and bocce.
I did.
You were slaying in bocce.
Yeah, cornhole not so much. But
I
that's
thought that
okay.
you did well in cornhole.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
It
had
was
a good
fun.
fighting spirit.
Bocce, I was doing great.
Bocce, you were I mean, just all sorts of spins. Really good.
Some celebratory spin moves.
Yeah, yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. But other than that, just working. I've got a lot of new worldwide honeymoon content about to drop in September. Got some new articles. I wrote a bunch of stuff about Italy and Italy honeymoons, and even some about Myrtle Beach. I wrote a little bit about honeymoon resorts in Myrtle Beach that you guys can go check out, which kind of relate to this episode if you're looking for great hotels in Myrtle Beach to stay.
This is going to be an embarrassing admission, but I have never been to Myrtle Beach.
Yes.
Is it in South Carolina?
Yes.
Okay. I've never been to either North or South Carolina.
Yes, and so we're talking about Myrtle Beach today. I used to go almost every single summer as a kid with my family. My mom is actually from Isle of Palms, South Carolina. So she grew up around the Charleston area, Isle of Palms, used to go to Myrtle Beach, Pawleys Island, all of that stuff. So it's really cool to get to go back because Mom always likes to go back and get kind of a bit of a taste of home. So we would always sort of go back that way. Almost every year as a child. So it's been several years since I've been, but we went again for a family vacation for a full week back in June. And it was a lot of fun. And that's why we're going to talk about Myrtle Beach today.
You didn't let me share my embarrassing admission.
Oh, what's your embarrassing? I thought your embarrassing admission was like, I've never been to Myrtle Beach. How embarrassing of you.
No, I was going to say I understand how my lack of geographic awareness of its location, how you could say, oh, yeah, that was the embarrassing admission. I remember in elementary school, a lot of people would go to Myrtle Beach in the summer, right? And it was like the first or second week of school, and I think I was in second grade. And this girl that was in my class said that she went to Myrtle Beach. And I had never been to Myrtle Beach. I had no idea what it was. I pictured it as this beach just like covered in turtles. Because it rhymes with turtle, right? And I was like, you know what? That is what Myrtle Beach is. And for whatever...
And you still think that is a...
For whatever reason, whenever anyone says Myrtle Beach, I still will think that. I will... Like, the first thing that comes to mind is water, sand, thousands of turtles covering the sand.
Yikes. I wish.
Did you see any turtles?
No.
Well,
I don't think
maybe
I've ever
you
seen
weren't
a
at
turtle
Myrtle Beach.
in Myrtle Beach.
All right.
But I could see why a lot of families go there. Tons of family-friendly stuff. And it's it's a nice beach, and it's pretty easy to get to for a lot of people.
Okay.
So that makes sense to me.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I guess this is going to be more so just me asking you questions because I have never been. But before you went on this trip, how long had it been since you were at Myrtle Beach?
Probably since high school. So it's been a long time since I've been to Myrtle Beach, other than growing up and going as a child and then going again in high school, or going like again now as an adult. So it's been about
It's over 10 years.
Oh yeah, over 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the one thing that you remembered about it? That you were like, oh, okay, like this is my this is kind of influencing my thoughts prior to touching down in Myrtle Beach a decade later.
I think I remembered it being bigger. I don't know why, but
You were smaller.
maybe I was smaller, so there you go. I remember the soft sandy beaches. The beaches are really lovely. The sand is really great. It's a nice white powdery sand. It's very beautiful sunrises because you're on the East Coast. I remember lots of ice cream places, lots of seafood places like Seafood Calabash, which are basically just gigantic seafood buffets. And I remember it being very, very family friendly. Again, great for families. And then lots of kitschy shops like Waves and like all of those crazy beach shops that you would think of. They're everywhere. And even sometimes some kitschy themed restaurants. But there's also some really cool restaurants too that are seafood like, and they're on like the marshes and stuff like that. But I remember there being a lot of kitschy like surf shops.
You can't dog on those though, because that is how you decorate a Midwest bathroom.
Oh yeah.
With all of the beach themed stuff.
I mean, I had a beach themed room
that.
as a kid, and we did get hermit crabs at one of those beach shops one time as a kid. They sadly did not live too long because we were children and not very responsible at taking care of hermit crabs. So I actually think one of them escaped and we never found it again. I'm not really sure. It was a whole thing. So yeah, they usually sell hermit crabs and things at those shops. I do not recommend purchasing one unless if you are skilled at taking care of hermit crabs.
You're dedicated to the aqua game.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were talking about how like you remembered it being bigger, a whole bunch of shops, restaurants, all of that kind of stuff. You touch down in Myrtle Beach, you're looking around, and other than being like, man, this is smaller, what were your other first impressions of Myrtle Beach?
I definitely think it's a little bit more developed than it used to be. There's a lot more rentals, especially you can go on Airbnb or Vrbo these days and find rentals instead of looking up all these different rental places in Myrtle Beach. There's a lot of those. Of course, there's still a lot of hotels. There's campgrounds where we used to stay growing up. There would be a campground that had like villas that you can rent as well. Same old shops and restaurants. I mean, we were driving past, my dad picked me up from the airport, and I forgot that like, instead of it being this bigger city, it really feels like mostly one big road that everything seems to be centered around. But still some great seafood and stuff, but it was fun. When dad picked me up and we were staying closer to Surfside, or like south of Myrtle Beach, and it was funny to point out like, oh my gosh, we've been to this restaurant before. Oh my goodness, we've done all these mini golf courses, like these like mini putt-putt golfs and stuff. There's where we used to stay and all of these things. So it was kind of neat to see all of the little shops and restaurants that we have frequented in the past as children, and that they're still there. And then it's also really cool as you're driving along that road to see a lot of the dunes, and you know, you're getting close to the beach and you can hear the waves, and that's always a lot of fun too.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just one quick question. What is Surfside or Surf City? Is that?
Surfside is just another town south of Myrtle Beach as you head towards Murrells Inlet, which is kind of like a more marshy area. And then you head down into Pawleys Island as you keep going further south. And Pawleys Island is like more of like a island area.
Are Myrtle, and Pawley related?
I don't think so. I think they're just named that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I've heard you mention a few times, like, great for families, all of that kind of stuff. What about honeymooners? Or maybe it's not your honeymoon, but maybe you want to like get away for a romantic couples beach vacation. When should you go? Where should you stay? All of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So all the fun logistics. I do say it's very family friendly because there's the whole town and everything is kind of oriented towards families. It's very similar to, if you've heard our Gatlinburg episodes, it's almost like Gatlinburg, but next to the ocean.
That is actually, for those that have been to Gatlinburg, I think that is a great description, because I was not able to quite picture Myrtle Beach. I can picture Gatlinburg, and now I get it.
Yeah, and instead of basically the Smoky Mountains, you have the ocean.
Okay.
They have a lot of like mini putt-putt courses. They have lots of like, there's, instead of Dollywood, you have some other amusement park. You have the Tanger Outlet's not too far away. Like, it's
Ripley's?
There is a Ripley's.
There we go.
Like Broadway at the Beach, all that stuff. There's like a lot of the things like Wonderworks and those fun museums and things like that. So very similar to Gatlinburg, I think, in that way, but just on the beach. So it's Myrtle Beach. But if you're going as a couple, I would say if you're going to visit, I would avoid the summer months of June through August, because that's where you're going to have, that is prime time to visit. That is when most people are coming, especially those families. So if you're kind of wanting to come for a more adult honeymoon, don't necessarily want to be around a bunch of children all the time, and you want to stay at some of the more fun resorts and stuff, I would say actually opt for September and October, because you're kind of at the tail end of hurricane season. And so the weather's still pretty good. I've been to South Carolina many times in October, especially Hilton Head, and weather is usually perfect. It is still warm outside. The beaches are practically empty because you have all of the families back in school. So you also get a lot of great deals because it's the fall and they know that their prime tourist season is in the summer months. So, if you can go in September and October, you're going to get lots of great deals. The weather's still pretty good. It's still warm enough for swimming and stuff like that. So those are great times to go if you want to go for like a more romantic getaway without children and and just less crowds in general. As far as where to stay, there are so many vacation rentals you can find on Airbnb or Vrbo just to fit your needs. A lot of them are condos that you can stay in, but also hotels. The Marina Inn at Grand Dunes, it starts at $160 per night. It has its own beach. Now, it's not on the beach. It's on the Intercoastal Waterway, so it has some really great views from there. But you can take their free shuttle service to the beach, and it's their own beach, so you have your, your umbrellas and all that stuff. It has its own restaurants. It's got mini pools, and it's next to a water sports place, so you can rent jet skis and all of that cool stuff. So it's a really neat place to stay. Just a really beautiful area, and it's nice to have your own beach too, which is kind of fun. And then Island Vista Resort starts at around $135 per night. Lots of pools, a lazy river, and they have massage cabanas on the beach, so you can get a beachside massage, which is nice. And then as far as how to get there, it's just really easy to fly into the Myrtle Beach airport. I flew American Airlines pretty easily there. I think Allegiant Airlines, if you have that at your airport, that also flies to Myrtle Beach. Or if you live nearby, we used to road trip it all the time and just drive there, because once you get there, you almost need a car to sort of get around unless you just plan to stay at the beach the entire time. So yeah, if you're going to fly, either have someone in your group with a car or rent a car, or you can just drive.
Awesome. Do you know if there are adult-only resorts?
I did not find any in my research.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of surprising. Well, actually, maybe not. I guess surprising from that there wouldn't be one, I guess, but also if it's a huge family-oriented sort of thing.
Yeah, there's not a lot of family resorts, I suppose, that are, just adults only resorts, at least that I could find. But again, going those times of year, you're going to see a lot less kids, especially in September and early October before you get fall break and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, vacation rentals, like you said, if you don't want to go with a hotel, I mean, that's a way to do
you
it.
Could rent your own vacation villa, whether it's a house or a condo or something.
Exactly.
And you don't really run into that, I guess, as much.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, now for the fun stuff. You're down there. You've chosen where to stay. What all can you do when you visit?
Well, it's really easy to access the beach. There are lots of places that you just walk over the dunes and you're right there. You just park there. Or if you're close enough, whether you're at a condo or hotel or something, you can just go down there. But basically chilling at the beach is definitely one of the number one things to do, whether that is, getting some boogie boards and boogie boarding. just all sorts of beach activities. You can certainly do that there. It's also very popular to rent a golf cart. So I guess if you aren't renting a car, you can rent a golf cart and kind of get around to areas sort of in the main part of Myrtle Beach. Like I wouldn't get on the highway and do that sort of thing with your golf cart. But if you're just going from your beach house down the road to the beach, you can certainly rent a golf cart, which is a lot of fun. And I remember as kids, whenever we had a golf cart, we would love driving around, which is a good time. There's the Myrtle Beach Boardwalk and Promenade that just has lots of shops and eateries nearby. Broadway at the beach, there's lots of shops and restaurants, and also museums like Wonderworks, where we went one day when it was raining at the beach. There's also a Ferris wheel there, so you guys can go and get like a really good view of everything from the Ferris wheel. And then also there are tons of shopping at the wave shops and the surf shops. Those are kind of fun just to go and check out while you're there. There is a Medieval Times. So, you've got those dinner theaters that you can go to.
Have you ever been to one of those?
I've been to something similar, not a Medieval Times.
I have never been to one of those.
I think that would be a lot of fun to go to a Medieval Times.
Yeah.
But it's a dinner theater where you basically get served a meal and you watch like people usually doing like horse tricks or just like other tricks and things in this like arena while you're doing it. So that's a lot of fun. This is also a big golfing town. So if you're here for golfing or you really enjoy golfing, really, really good opportunities for that there. There are tons of golf courses all over Myrtle Beach that you can go golfing at. And if you have little ones or golfing isn't your thing, there's also mini golf and putt-putt golf. There are so many different themed ones all over, from like dinosaurs to, just all sorts of things. Then there's more of the water activities that you can rent or like purchase. Like if you want to go parasailing, you can certainly go do that, which is a lot of fun. You can rent jet skis, kayaks and stuff like that just to sort of have some fun while you're in the water, aside from just like hanging out by the beach or just swimming. So you can certainly do all of those things. I really enjoyed Brook Green Gardens. I think that is down near that's near Myrtle's Inlet, like Surfside area. Brook Green Gardens is kind of like a swampy area. Just like it's cool because you get to see different animals and stuff that are sort of indigenous to this area. So it's really neat. There was a bird section that we got to go into that had all of these really cool like storks and different birds that are native to the swamplands and stuff. It was a really neat thing to see. You saw some gators, you saw some, and we saw some like, there was a petting zoo area too, where you could see goats and things like that, which the kids really liked when we were there. But that's a really fun place that's not that crowded to just go and check out the gardens. And there's also actual gardens too. It's not just the like zoo portion. We just went and saw the animals because we were with the kids and we didn't have time to go see the whole thing, but it certainly is something you can take a lot of time and spend a half day or a day just exploring and seeing the different gardens. They also have a butterfly area where you can like go and like see the butterflies and they, land on them and see different ones everywhere flying around. It was really cool. And then also visiting Myrtle's Inlet and Polly's Island. They're really pretty areas to explore, and there's lots of good like shopping, especially on like Polly's Island and stuff like that.
Can I ask a question about those areas?
Yeah.
So are they like large enough to consider, maybe I'm not going to go to Myrtle Beach, but I am going to go to Polly's Island, or I am going to go to Myrtle's Inlet? Like, are they separate and distinct enough, or are they all kind of in the same general community?
They're very close together.
Okay.
Like it's easy to like go from one to the other.
Got it.
Like Surfside is right below Myrtle Beach. Like
Okay.
it's like a 5-minute drive to Surfside. And then from there you go to like Myrtle's Inlet and then Polly's Island. So really not that far that you could easily cover all of this if you're there for a week to see all of it.
Are they all similar? Or
Yeah.
does anything, or do any of the locations offer something that maybe the others don't?
I would say Myrtle's Inlet's really cool because it does have that like swamp and marshlands area, which is really pretty to see.
Okay.
There's like more of that down there. But yeah, I mean, they all kind of offer similar things. It's just Myrtle Beach is bigger, so there's more hotels and rentals.
More developed.
Yeah, it's more developed. There's more stuff there versus like the lesser crowded. Like if you want less crowds, you can go down there because there's lots of great restaurants down in Myrtle's Inlet and Polly's Island and stuff too. But it's just not as much in the way of like tons of hotels and places to stay, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But it's less crowded, so if you're able to find availability there, that's cool.
Awesome.
All right. And then the last thing is you can go check out and do a day trip to Charleston. It's not that far. We have done that in the past where we have gone down and just explored Charleston for the day. See all the colorful buildings and like the pineapple fountain and like, do all the things in Charleston. That is a more popular city to visit these days for sure. So whether you're staying in Charleston, you want to get away to the beach, you could do that, even though Charleston's, a beachy place. But you could go to Myrtle Beach, or if you're in Myrtle Beach, you can certainly take a day trip down and explore Charleston.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is Congaree National Park close to Myrtle Beach?
I don't think so.
Okay, not like day trip close.
I don't know where it's at exactly, but I don't think it's anywhere nearby that it was something that people commonly do.
Okay, so it wouldn't be like, oh, we're going to drive an hour to Congaree, explore, and then come back sort of thing.
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fair enough. I have to imagine that they have pretty good seafood. Did you have some restaurants, some food and drinks written down?
Just a few. River City Cafe was a fun little place outside of Myrtle Beach that's just a very casual cafe. It's the kind where you get like peanuts and there's like peanuts on the floor and you get a bunch of peanuts to snack on. I had an amazing blackened grouper Reuben sandwich.
Blackened grouper Reuben.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a Reuben sandwich, but with blackened grouper. So good with fries. Amazing. So River City Cafe, it's like definitely just like a little hole in the wall, but it's very delicious.
And whose backyard is this in? Is it Myrtle? Is it Merle? Or is it Pauly?
It's Myrtle's Inlet is where it's at. A lot of these restaurants are in Myrtle's Inlet. I actually think that area has some really good food.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's good. And it's in a kind of a good area for fishing and stuff too, so that makes sense.
Did you guys go fishing?
No.
Okay.
It's just where a lot of the good seafood restaurants are.
Got it. Okay.
So aside from River City Cafe, which it looks like definitely a hole in the wall, as I've said, there are apparently quite a few of them in the area. I just really like the one in Myrtle's Inlet a lot. I think that might be the original. It definitely looks like it would be the original one, but we'll see. The second one was Drunken Jack's. Fantastic seafood. That is right on the marshes in Myrtle's Inlet. Very lovely little setting that it's in, but it's very, very popular. So if you're going to come, especially, and I don't believe that they take reservations. A lot of these places don't take reservations. But if you're going to go, you got to go like early if you have a big group, because we had a large group of people and we tried to get in at 5:00 and couldn't. But it is a very, very popular seafood place to go to. So get there pretty early if you want to get in, especially if it's a weekend or a Friday night or something. Or if you have a small group, it's a little bit easier to get in.
Is this a sit-down seafood restaurant?
Yes.
Or is this what did you call it?
It's not a Calabash.
There it is.
It's just a sit-down seafood restaurant right on the marshes in Myrtle's Inlet. And right next door to it is Wahoo's Fish House, which is another seafood sit-down restaurant on the marshlands. Very beautiful as well. I had some blackened grouper there. All of their food was really good. I also believe I had a crab dip too, which was so tasty with some bread and stuff. Very delicious. So Wahoo's Fish House. So that's all in Myrtle's Inlet. In Surfside, I really liked Pirates Table Calabash Seafood Buffet. So if you're here with a family, this is it's very family friendly. They have mermaids that swim the buffet looks like a pirate ship. Very kitschy. And there's also mermaids. There's a little area where these mermaids are swimming around and
Real
stuff.
mermaids?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But it's fun for kids. So if you're going with kids or something like that, you can do that. And it's $50. It's all you can eat seafood. So you can have as many crab legs as you want.
Hold on.
What?
Oh, finish and then I'll ask my question. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
there's
interrupt.
desserts and it's so much different types of seafood that you can try, from catfish to, salmon to crab, stuffed crab, all these delicious crab meals and some tons and tons of crab legs. And it's all very good, but it's just, it's a seafood Calabash. I feel like you got to do that while you're there because there's so many of them in the area. But that one's a very good one for kids, or if you just want to go we used to go there all the time growing up. We also went this past time, and it was good.
$50 per person.
It is per person, $50. Yeah.
Is this like fried seafood, or is this?
It's a bit of both. Mostly like fried stuff, but
Okay.
Or cooked sort of thing. Like you'll have like this. There was like a crab casserole that had like different things in it.
Oh, okay.
But you can also get crab legs and like butter and all the things. I also really liked that, especially during these times, they gave you like gloves to put on to like for the buffet.
Oh, that's
so you
nice.
could like not be touching what everyone's touching, which was nice. But yeah, it was pretty good. I really like that. If you're gonna go to a seafood calabash, that one's a pretty good one to go to.
Okay.
Yeah. And my last one was one that we this is just a drink. This is what we happened upon. We were just hanging out we stayed in a big Verbo rental that was big enough to fit the whole family and the kids, and we had a pool and stuff. And we were just hanging out one night because the kids actually all went to bed pretty early, and we were all excited, and we're all sitting in our rocking chairs on the front balcony together, watching the world go by, watching the sunset. And earlier in the day, when the kids were in the pool, we heard an ice cream truck, and I remember my brother saying, man, wouldn't it be really cool if they made this but like booze popsicles or something? And that night we heard the Mario theme song, and we saw what it's called, Booze Pops, drive past, and my brother was like, it does exist. My sister was so excited. The kids were asleep. She almost ran after them, but you could call them and then they come back. And we all got some booze popsicles. They're all different like cocktails and stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Was there a pina colada one?
There was a pina colada one.
Did you get it?
I didn't. I got like some mango one. Very good. So if you want some booze popsicles or Jello shots or anything like that, you can call Booze Pops to bring that to you, which I thought was just an interesting and kind of funny thing.
That is kind of cool.
That we just saw and we were excited to have. So yeah, those are some places to kind of eat, and then also a drink if you're going to be there. But yeah, that's some eating and drinking in Myrtle Beach.
What was your best meal?
My best meal, I still think, is the River City Cafe blackened grouper Reuben.
Okay.
It was cooked really well. I love a Reuben.
Fried or no, blackened?
No, it was blackened. So it was seasoned really well. I love Reubens, like with the coleslaw and the Thousand Island dressing and all that stuff. So to have it as like a grouper, because I don't really like pastrami and stuff like that, like, because there was a place that I used to live in Cincinnati that had turkey Reubens that were so good. And it's nice to have like a blackened grouper Reuben. So it was really tasty, and the fries were great, and it was a fun little atmosphere too. So that was a good place to get lunch one day.
Awesome. Do you have anything else to talk about? If not, I have some questions before we get into like the would you go back sort of stuff.
Sure. What are your questions?
Okay. So, you know that I like an engaging beach.
Okay.
Was this an engaging beach? Like shells, okay to walk around? Does it get very crowded? How's the water for snorkeling? Those sorts of things.
Okay. I think it's fairly engaging. There are a lot of piers that are pretty. Very beautiful sunrises, as I said, because it's over the water.
Crowded?
As far as crowds go, the closer you get to Myrtle Beach, it's going to be more crowded. If you stay somewhere like Surfside, which is where we stayed, so just south of Myrtle Beach, it's going to be a lot less crowded. We certainly didn't have trouble finding space for all of us adults and children to camp out for the day. It didn't feel like overly crowded, like spring break crowded or something. As far as snorkeling, probably wouldn't. The water in that, like a lot of the Atlantic coast is pretty murky, so you're not going to see a whole lot if you're wearing a snorkel gear. You certainly can try, but again, that water is pretty brown and murky, just the way that the waves go and everything. So you're not going to see a whole lot like you would in the Caribbean.
Okay. Now, I know you guys went as a family. Was there something like an activity that you saw that you were like, man, that would be really good if it were like just a couple, just the two of us or something like that? Like something that may not have been good for like an entire group, but like that would be fun if it's just the two of us.
I think parasailing as a couple would be really fun. I've done parasailing in Myrtle Beach before, and it is really fun. It's very peaceful up there. You see some great views. You're over the ocean. Sometimes you can see like sharks and stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Okay.
So that would be really fun as a couple. I also think riding the Ferris wheel would be kind of fun.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, like together above, like at Broadway at the beach. That area would be really cool to see because you'll get a lot of great views there.
Do they do like sunset cruises or anything like that, or not that you saw?
Not that I saw, but I believe that there are
Okay.
cruises and stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So imagine that you are thinking about where to go for your next beach vacation. Okay? And it's just the two of you. And
you mean us, the two of us?
Well, yeah. But like, you know what I mean. So it's a couple looking to go on a beach vacation. And you know, like, I mean, you want it to be relaxing, you want it to be romantic, all of that kind of stuff. Would you recommend going to Myrtle Beach or Gulf Shores?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. I would say maybe Myrtle Beach over Gulf Shores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Myrtle Beach or Tybee Island?
Ooh, Tybee Island.
Okay.
I think it's a lot less crowded than Myrtle Beach is.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's that cute, like, at least I stayed at the Tybee Island Inn bed and breakfast, and that is a prime spot if you're coming as a couple and you want to enjoy it. You can stay at the Tybee Island Inn bed and breakfast. It's a really cute spot.
Nice. Okay. Savannah is not on the coast, right?
No.
Okay. So if you're thinking about like a beach vacation down in like South Carolina or Georgia or Florida, that area, you would recommend Tybee Island.
Yeah, and I've been to Hilton Head too, and that's also really nice.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Myrtle Beach is also fantastic. I'm just saying that Tybee Island was a little less crowded than Myrtle Beach was.
Sure. And I think it always kind of helps to kind of order things. I don't know. At least it does for my mind. Mm-hmm. So nice. All of that being said, A, would you go back? And B, would you go back looking for that romantic beach vacation, or would you maybe look elsewhere for it?
I mean, I think that, it depends on a lot of factors. Yes, I would go back.
Okay.
Yeah. As far as like going, if that was among that and so many other beach destinations, sure, I would probably pick somewhere in the Caribbean where you have clear water because that's my preference. But, or like Sanibel Island or something in Florida where you have that clear, because I like the Gulf a little bit more with like the clear water. Now Gulf Shores, I don't think they had too clear of water. Do you remember?
I remember snorkeling there. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe, so that would be my preference, but I also really liked Myrtle Beach, and I think it's an easy place to get to, which is nice. It's very convenient. Okay. So if you want to plan like either a last minute getaway, you can fly in and out of it because there's an airport nearby. Yeah, and it's just very affordable. So it's a great place to go all around in that respect. And there's a lot to do besides just the beach, which is helpful.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
So
well, it sounds like
it depends what you're going for, I guess.
Yeah, and it sounds like a great vacation spot. One that I have still never visited, but one that I would love to go to with you.
Yeah, and that marina resort sounds really cool with its own private beach and stuff.
It does,
like that
yeah.
Sounds like a great place to stay. Which would be fun if we go back as a couple. Yeah.
Great.
Well, that is Myrtle Beach, guys. Let us know your thoughts. Have you guys been to Myrtle Beach? What are your favorite things to do? You can always reach us on Twitter at WW Honeymoon, Instagram at Worldwide Honeymoon, or email kat@worldwidehoneymoon.com. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to rate and review our podcast. It takes less than a few minutes and really helps other people find us. Also, if you're enjoying this awesome free information on both the blog and podcast, when you're booking your next trip, head over to worldwidehoneymoon.com/resources and use the links provided. We earn a small commission at no cost to you when you book through these links, and these are all brands and companies we know, love, and use, like Skyscanner for finding the best flight prices, World Nomads for the best travel insurance, TripAdvisor for hotel bookings and reviews, and even Amazon for all of your travel purchases.
Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, wherever you go, remember to make every day a worldwide honeymoon.